leave a 12-inch tail and do your first knot to start your first row. Okay, so you're gonna do 14 loops. You're gonna cast 14 loops for the first chain. Okay, make sure that the loops are not too big. You want the teddy bear to be tight because we're gonna stuff it inside. Okay, so you want to make sure it's 14 loops. Okay, when you get to the end, you're gonna connect the ends. It might take you some time because you want to make sure that it's tight. So as you pull in, it's tight. All right, so we got 12. Now I'm gonna connect the corners. I'm gonna take the tail from the other end and pull it through the last loop. Now I'm gonna pull the loops through the top part of each loop, starting from the tail side. And we should have 4 loops when I'm done with this. Yep, almost halfway. If you enjoy doing craft with chunky jar, let me know in your comments, Okay, so now we're finishing with the last loop. Okay. Now that's the last loop right now. Now let's count it. 12 in total. Yep, 12. Good, we have 12. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a marker because I wanna mark our first loop. Because what we're gonna do now, we're gonna need 12 row on these 14 loops. So that's my first loop. And then from there, I go ahead and loop 12 rows. So this is my first row. So I got to my end of my first loop, my first row, and now I have a marker, and now I start the second row. Okay, now I'm getting to the end of my second row. This is my marker, so this is my third row now. you wanted to count your rows, make sure you're only making 12 rows for this gonna be your body. Okay, so right there I'm counting, making sure that I have 12 rows. Okay, so now that we have 12 rows, I'm just double checking. Checking again. I feel like I made an additional row, and I did, so I'm pulling it back. Okay, 12. 1, 2. Yep, 12. No. So here's my body. And I count it again just to make sure, because if I continue it's wrong, then I have to undo the whole thing. So now we're gonna start transition to the head. So what you do is that you put 2 loops together and pull the yarn through it, because we're gonna reduce it to 7 loops now. So you put mark your first one and put your next loop. You want to put it together close to the other one. Okay, so you just put 2 together and pull a loop through. When we're done with this part, we should have 7 loops on the top. Okay, so now we have the 7 loops on the top, making sure everything is nice and tight together. You don't want space in between them. This is part 1. I'm going to come back with part 2, but on this part I'm going to finish the body and then I'll come back to do the rest. So you see there are 7 loops now. Now I'm gonna bring these loops. We should need 2 rows on the 7 loops. So I'm gonna do my mark again and continue to do my rows. So 2 rows at the 7 loops. Now we have 2 rows. Now we're gonna do again. We're gonna go ahead and increase it now to 14 rows again. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna loop it through the middle of each loop. So we're gonna go through the loop and then loop into the middle, through the loop and then loop through the middle. And when we're done with this row, we should have 14 loops again. Okay, so you just put it right through the middle of the loops and then through the loop. Okay, until you get to the end. I already put my marker. You want to always mark your first loop just to make sure that you're doing the right amount of rows. Okay, so now once I'm done and I have 14 loops again, I'm gonna make 10 rows on those 14 loops, and that's going to be my head.
10 more.
Okay, so again, I start this my first rope. I will mark it before I keep going. Okay, and then I would keep going until I have 10 more rows. Okay. Okay, so almost done. I could have speed through this, but I just wanted you to see the whole process. So we're almost done, and once I'm done with this 10 rows, I'm counting again. We'll have the body and the head of our teddy bear.